G'day, Matt from Overland Travellers. In this video, I'm just going to be running through a few updates that the Troopy has had recently, because since our last trip, we had a few little teething issues with a few products, so we've changed some over, or we've done some updates, and I'll run through them now. All right, so probably the biggest thing that we wanted to change over was our sub tank. So as you know, if you've seen the videos of us crossing the Canning Stock Route and the Gary Junction Highway, our Brown Davis tank had a failure. So we had the 170 litre sub tank from Brown Davis. On the Canning Stock Route, we had a pretty catastrophic failure. Big crack appeared, a couple of cracks, but one of them was quite major. It resulted in us having to drain the tank on the Canning Stock Route. We had to put it in our mates' cars and we had to put it in Jerry's. And if we weren't with mates, we would have had to have ended the trip. It was repaired in Perth. To their credit, Brown Davis is good with warranty. They repaired it, but unfortunately after that, more cracks appeared. So as you can imagine, we just lost faith in the product. And for something that's so crucial, you know, the thing that holds your diesel, you obviously want it to be reliable, and we just lost faith in the product. When we were putting these videos up, I had a lot of people commenting that they had a Long Ranger tank and they'd had them for 16 years, or they had them for a long time without any issues. And it was just quite a few people saying that they'd had a good experience with it. So Long Ranger kind of got onto us, and we were kind of chatting to them, and they pretty much said, do you want a tank to replace your Brown Davis? And we said, yep, let's go for it. So the tank is in, again, it's 170 litres, so it's a really big capacity, just like the last one. Now, there's a few observations I have with the tank immediately that makes it a bit different to the Brown Davis. First things first, it doesn't sit as low as the Brown Davis tanks, which obviously is a good thing with the fuel tank, because you don't want to hang too low because you're going to be whacking it on rocks and anything like that, which can result in cracks. So I think that's a good thing straight away. Another thing I really like with this tank is the bung on the bottom is facing downwards. The Brown Davis had a side bung, and it made it really, really hard to drain. When we were draining it, catching diesel coming out sideways is a real pain. Whereas this one is on the bottom, but it's also recessed into the tank and has like a protective sort of ring around it. So much better design there. Another observation I've had, and look, I'm not a fabricator or anything like that, but just feeling the tank and looking at it, it just seems like it's put together better. And I can't really put my finger on it, but it just does seem like it's put together really, really well. Long Ranger, they've been around for a long time in the four-wheel drive industry. It's a Australian owned and operated business. It's a family business. They're made in Australia, and they're stocked through ARB stores, so you can get them all over the country. Really happy we've got it in. We haven't tested it obviously in any kind of extreme environments, but I definitely have some confidence in this product just from the initial things that people have been telling me. So really keen to get out there, give it a try, and yeah, hopefully we don't have any diesel leaks in the middle of nowhere. So not only do Long Ranger do diesel tanks, they do petrol tanks, and they do water tanks as well. So if you need any kind of sub tank, auxiliary tank, or water tank, definitely check out their products and give them a look. All right, another upgrade that we have done to the Troopy is we've replaced the stock side steps. So if you know what the Troopy stock side steps look like, they're pretty average looking. They only sort of go to the door, quite flimsy, thin aluminium things. They're not colored or anything. They just didn't look very good. They don't really offer any protection, and they're not actually very good as a side step. So I've just gone good old trusty ARB side steps here. So they run the whole length of the underbody here from wheel to wheel. I think they look really nice. It's a satin finish, which is the same as my front and rear bar, so that kind of matches up. I like the full length of it because, you know, we can step on it at the back here, have access to things on the roof maybe a bit easier. It provides more protection for the body, obviously, for rocks and things like that. It's just a really nice tidy bar. It's a bit wider as well, so it's a way better step than we had previously. So that's just a nice little upgrade, just good little bit of underbody protection, and also just a bit more convenience for being able to step up on the car. So probably one of the more major upgrades, and something I've really been looking forward to, is upgrading the radius arms on the Troopy. As you know, we do have a lift kit in the Troopy. It's a 2-inch lift. The thing is when you raise the Troopy, your drive shafts are going at a different angle. You're putting more stress in your uni joints. The diff is not quite in the correct position. The kit that came with the lift kit, it had some off-caster bushes, which were necessary to sort of put that diff in the correct position. They're not great, they don't work too well, and they do fatigue quite easily. We actually, when we took the bushes out, the off-caster bushes, they were already cracking after our first trip. Yes, it was very rough, but point is they didn't last very long, and you know, if they crack right through and deteriorate, then you know, you'll really know about it. The steering will be horrible. The diff won't be in the correct position, and yeah, just not a great system all up. So changing the radius arms fixes all those issues. We got the J-Max radius arms. They are way stronger than the stock radius arms. They put that diff in the correct position, they rotate your diff slightly, less stress on your uni joints, just better for your steering, for your articulation. Also, because we have the larger tyres on the 35s, I really want to make these tyres work with the lift, because I really like the tyres for a few reasons. Off-road, they're great. I just love the way they look. That's the main reason. I know it's not a very good reason. When we were flexing with our previous radius arms, we scrubbed quite a bit with the 35s, which is just not nice at all. These ones, it is helping with that scrubbing. I haven't actually scrubbed since I've put them on, so I really want to give it a nice test and flex, but so far, it's steering much better. It's feeling far nicer to drive off-road, flexing better. So it's just really improved the overall feel and drivability of the car. All right, another little improvement that we've done to the Troopy is we've changed the roof rack system. Before we had the Rhino rack, we've always worked with front runner, but they didn't have an option available for the struts that come with or the gutters that come with the headspace conversion. Now they do. They made one and released one to cater for this. Compared to the Rhino rack, I just like front runner's mounting options a lot more. If you've got a standard M8 nut or bolt, you can probably mount something to it. Besides that, it's much slimmer and much shorter than the Rhino rack, which I like. It just looks a lot slicker. So that is just a nice little improvement. As I said, we've been working with front runner for a while, so I'm really glad that we were able to get their gear on the car. Another upgrade that we've done to the cars with our comms, so we've changed over to GME. They're Australian made, Australian owned, really high quality products, and they're kind of pushing the boundaries with sort of an older technology and UHFs. So you're getting the usual benefits that you get with these systems. If your mates have the XRS systems, you can get their GPS location, which is really handy. But another thing that they've just released is this module here, which is a steering wheel module. So you've got a mic in front of you here, you can just click the button and you can just talk, push to talk. So you're not having to pick it up, which is really handy. If you're off-road or something like that and you don't want to let go of the wheel having two hands, really handy. I think it'd be really handy on machinery and ag applications as well, just to have it on your steering wheel and not having to mess around and actually pick the unit up. Besides that, you can actually also connect it up to any Bluetooth device. So you can connect it up to your speaker system in your car, or these days hearing aids are Bluetooth, so you could connect it up to a hearing aid. So if you're hearing impaired, that's a really good option. Again, I think they're just pushing the boundaries a little bit. Really high quality products. All my mates have been using them and they always rave about how good the GME stuff is. Another thing we've grabbed is a GME PLB, personal location beacon. These are just super important if you are going out into remote areas of Australia or just going on a trip at all. I think these are a absolute must-have in your car. They're just an emergency beacon, so if something really goes wrong and you're in an emergency, you can get this out, you can hit the button and you can get a helicopter sent out to you as quick as possible. So, you know, if you're stranded in the middle of nowhere, if you've had a medical emergency, you're on the Canning stock route, this is what you need to get you out of trouble. So yeah, GME, they make those. And they're a bit different to an EPIRB, I think. I think EPIRBs are more for your marine applications, so it's probably good if you're four driving to get one of these. Another little update in the interior here is the Shieldman seats have been wired up for the heating. So that was something that just comes standard with these seats that we have, and we just hadn't had them wired up. So they've been wired up at Project Overlander. We've got a new switch fascia in here. It's a very neat system and it's a very nice thing to have. We used them when we were in Mount Gambier recently, even though it was summer, it was freezing cold. And yeah, it's just a nice little luxury to have and just bringing your 70 series into first class seating. So a few other updates that aren't on yet, but they are coming soon. One, the flares are getting changed over. These are the Connect 4x4, and to be honest, they just didn't work very well. Pretty much after the canning, with all the vegetation, they were pretty much torn off. They're held on with zip ties at the moment. They're flapping around, not great. So we are changing over to the ARB flares. We're going to go with the color-coded ones, sandy taupe, and then we're also going to put a little extra edge on outside as well, just to make sure we're 100% legal, because there's a little bit of poke at the moment. But they're going to be installed just a lot nicer, and they're going to look nice as well, being color-coded, so I'm really keen to get those on. Another thing that is getting changed over is the Max Tracks table here. So we are going with pretty much the same one from Project Overlander. This is the first one, it was a prototype. The next one is just sort of the next version where they've really refined the whole system. This front face here will be color-coded sandy taupe, powder-coated, it looks really nice, and the back panel here is all black. As I said, looks much slicker on the side of the car. All the hinges have been updated, the latches have been updated. So yeah, pretty much the exact same system, because we really love the way this works, but just a slicker, more refined unit. So probably one of the most major updates that we have had has actually been in the headspace conversion. It is still a headspace conversion, except now we've actually had the top cap changed over. Before we had the standard, we have now changed over to the high top, which is 40 mil higher than the standard. We wanted more room for bedding. Ollie at Headspace wanted to get this on to promote the product, but we do run through the conversion, the few teething issues we had with the original one, what we love about it, how it went on the trip in our first sort of 100 nights sleeping in it. So definitely go over and check that video out for a full rundown. But we are really loving the high top. We love the extra space and the comfort it provides. So yeah, it's been fantastic so far. Thanks for watching that video on the updates that we've done on the Troopy. If you have any questions about it, jump in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.